Welcome everyone. It's a great pleasure having so many attendants today in this webinar session. Some of you familiar names, we know each other from a long time, but many new attendants, which is a great pleasure to us. And we hope that you enjoy this webinar series that we are starting today, this Data and AI Connect series. Well, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Abraham Pascual, International Business Manager at PUE, and I will be introducing this session and the following ones, and also wrapping up at the end of the delivery of the session. This Data and AI Connect series. Today we are starting with the first of the 3 webinar series that we will be delivering during this month of October. First title from today will be covering the Mastering Data Governance and Data Quality. We will see today how you can strengthen your organization with a federated and reliable data. Next week, next October 8th, we hope to see you there as well. Next Tuesday, we'll be covering continuous optimization and cost savings in data platforms. We will be talking about how to shift the mindset from cloud to on-premises, or the other way around, from on-premises, which is the regular or the standard, to cloud environments, which is the real challenge, how to face that shifting, how to save cost from that data platforms. And the last one will be October 15th, in a couple of weeks, and we will cover one of the most trending topics now in the IT world, which is the Open Gen AI. The Gen AI is what everybody speaks about, and we will be proposing a different point of view from the open source tools, how to boost your data using AI and open source tools. Will be very, very much interesting, and we encourage all of you to attend the three series that we will have. So today, as I said before, we'll be starting with the first of these webinars, Mastering Data Governance and Data Quality. And first of all, I would like to introduce a little bit our company. Some of you, as I said before, know PUE from a long time and already know who we are and what we do, but many of you don't know it, or at least have just a slight point of view, because we have had a relationship because of training, of some projects, of some events, or just because of interchanging emails. But PUE Group is a company that is operating from 10 years ago all across EMEA, with offices in Spain and in Saudi Arabia, covering all EMEA, all across the different countries, with a strong presence in the center of Europe, in many different countries, of course, in Spain and Portugal as well. And now, from 1.5 years ago, having a very strong presence also with a local team in the Middle East, covering all the GCC countries from Riyadh, from Saudi Arabia. This makes having a company of more than 150 professionals with sustained growth because of this strategy of expanding all across EMEA and being partners of the most relevant of companies in the technology world, specialized in data, AI, and cloud. What we propose to our customer, what value can we bring to you? Well, from the titles of the different webinars, you see that there are different topics that are real challenges to our customers. So what we build is custom solutions for our customers to overcome those data challenges. How do we do that? First of all, starting with the definition of a data roadmap, which is the very basics to design that roadmap that will start at a certain point of the company and reach the goal that the company wants to get. We can join in different stages depending on which stage is the company, if you have already started this journey, or we can start from scratch to the very goal that the company has as a target. We do that also building data products that will help to overcome those challenges. Data products customized and built for our customers based on the most relevant technologies, even if it's enterprise solutions or it is open source solutions. And beside that, we deliver a lot of data ops. These data ops keeps and maintain the best performance in the data platforms, help to deliver new projects, to develop use cases, to bring business value to the companies, which at the end of the day is what the companies look for. And when everything is ready, the platform is ready, the data is ready, we can go to the latest technologies like the Gen AI that everybody wants to have in their companies. But before that, there is a lot of work to do. So today, we will be covering the first of these, which is as a way to say, is a starting point for this data roadmap, how to build a master data governance and data quality platform in the companies. It is very important. What will we learn with the speech of today? We will learn about governance and data quality challenges. Many of you face it in a daily basis. What could be a reference architecture to build this data platform? Which are the benefits of starting from a data federation? It's a very interesting concept. And there we will see a demo from the Starburst product, and having also an end-to-end data governance model in the company. For that, we will see a demo with using Data Hub and Great Expectations. And the last point will be how the data quality is integrated with this governance. So there will be very much interesting points. I'm sure that many of you will have questions during the webinar. Don't hesitate to use the Q&A button that you will see. You will find it in the lower part of your screen, of your Zoom screen. There you will have live responses to your questions. Please use it. Feel free and interact with our colleagues. To present the session from today, we have Javier Fernandez. He's one of our technical process engineer in PUE. He will be conducting the whole session. And behind the scenes, we have Jaime Garcia, data platform administrator, that will be answering to your questions. So don't forget to participate. Don't forget to share in your social media as well. And we encourage you to stay until the end of the session, because you will learn a lot of very interesting things. And with no further ado, please, Javier, your turn. I hope that all of you enjoy and have a very good session.
Thanks a lot, Abraham. I will be conducting the rest of the webinar. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to start the webinar with some concepts. Okay. We will talk about data federation. We will talk about data governance and data quality. I would like to address these issues, first of all, with the understanding of how to manage and what is these kinds of things, okay? Data federation, as you can see here, is a management strategy that enables the improvement of information quality and accessibility from a single access point. Why I'm reading this, why I'm telling you this? When you have a grown organization, a very well-grown organization, you will have some problems with accessing some data. You will have some problems with costs of the platform. You will have a lot of issues that can be managed in a very useful way with data federation. Okay, there's an important concept here that is the single access point. I will get to that later. The second and the third concept are data governance and data quality. Data governance focuses on what, who, and how the data is managed. That means that you need to understand how your data is expanding all across your platform, how to manage this data and the accesses to them, okay? The auditability and these kinds of things. I will, again, explain that later. And the data quality focuses on the quality of the data itself. What does it mean? So that if you have data that is full of mistakes, full of errors, it's not useful. It's not data for you. Okay. So for these three things, we are going to use three different platforms. The first of them is Starburst, which will address the data federation part. The second one is Data Hub, that will address the data governance part, and Great Expectations, it will solve the data quality issues that we have. Okay. First of all, federation. We are going to start focusing on here. There are a few benefits from data federation. Okay, as you can see here, we put 5. I would like to point that one by one specifically. The first time is the real-time access. I will get to that later, but when you have a lot of different data sources, sometimes it's difficult to manage all of them. This is also the second point, the data integration, because all these data sources are different. comes from different places at different hours. If you have a batch process running and a streaming process running, you need to focus on what time do you use some data, or if it's useful, if it's not. So data federation allows us to get a single point of access to all this data in real time. Okay. Also, as you have a one single access point, you can see all your data, all your data sources. What does it mean? You can reduce the cost. Okay, you can lower the cost of your storage. You can lower the cost of your platforms because you will not have redundant information. Okay, and last but not least, the scalability and the flexibility. For example, this particular platform, Starbus, that we will talk about it later, provides to us a very useful way to manage this, because when you have maybe some lower users, you could lower the platform running on Kubernetes to one worker or two workers, or maybe expand it later on. Okay, this flexibility is very useful in these data platforms. Okay, so this is the starting point. Okay, I want to share with you this because we have here a whole image of a workflow of your platform, of your environment, whatever you want to call it. And the first thing that you will see in the left are all the data sources. I can have Cassandra, I can have Elastic, I can have Hive, Cloudera, Snowflake, whatever you want, okay? But I will have all this data all across different platforms. I can use streaming, I can use something to analyze for my BI users, and these platforms are going to be different. Maybe they will have the same data, maybe not. Every company is a different world, so I understand that, but we will have always different data sources. Okay, and then is the first time that we will get to Starbus. Starbus allows us to connect the platform to all these data sources and federate all the data. I will, as you can see, it's in the left and it's in the right, because it will provide to us also the serving part with a marketplace. But first of all, the Starbus platform is going to be connected to all the data sources in order to be able to access all this data. All across the workflow, as you can see, there's the storage. Here I put some example with Apache Iceberg or some Cloudera, some object storage. As you can see here, the layers of bronze, silver, and gold if you use a medallion architecture. And on the top, and in the low part, you will see, first of all, some Airflow or dbt ELTs frameworks, and Great Expectations. Great Expectations is going to be also all across the platform. I will explain that later. But you could put these validations in the first place or in the last place. Also, there's Data Hub. Data Hub is the governance part of all this architecture that it is going to address not only the storage itself, but also the data sources, because when you connect it to Starbus, you are able to see where the data came from, okay? And the last part, as you can see over there and in the right side of the screen, is again Starbus. Why? Starbus is the single access point to all this data. If I have some customers, I can serve this data to them just with this platform, okay? These customers are going to use a BI tool. These customers are going to use anything they want, okay? So there's some problems, some Python, some notebook, whatever they okay. Even about now, just about the Starbus, okay? As you can see in the middle, there's the core part that it's Starbus itself, that it is the analytics engine. I will explain that later, but Starbus is based on Trino. Trino is a massive parallel processing query engine. I'm sure a lot of you use it in your platforms, but this is the core essential part, okay? Starbus, it is not over here, but I will address it also, does not have storage. Starbus is not about storing the data. Starbus is not about replicating the data in another platform. It's about federating. What does it mean? That all the different platforms, all the different connectors that I will talk again later, are going to be connected to Starbucks, and Starbucks is going to be accessing the data from the data sources, okay, from the platform. As you can see here, there's a lot of different options. This is one of the main functionalities of Starbucks, that it can address some different tables. For example, here we have in the right side some real-time analytics, different tables like Apache Kafka or Pinot. If you use Kafka, you can connect the data that you are storing in a Kafka in a schema with some relational databases. As you can see over there, some Snowflake, some Cloudera, some Oracle, some MySQL, this kind of platforms. Also with non-SQL stores like Mongo, Elastic, or Redis, or Cassandra, as I mentioned before. Also, again, normal data lakes, normal data lakes, data warehouses that you have in your platforms, like Delta Lake, some Apache Iceberg, that I will get to that later, some Mini storage, also Amazon, Acer, BigQuery, all these platforms, okay? You can connect it also to some applications like SAP or Splunk or Salesforce. They very common in our area. All these connectors are going to be accessing Starbucks. Starbucks is going to provide to us the second layer. As you can see over there, there is the global security part that is going to provide to us a very good access, a very good control access to the platform, and again, a single access point where you can control and audit all the data accesses. Okay. This is going to provide to us also some query auditing, some data masking, and of course end-to-end encryption, as it could not be other way. Okay. Then we get to the Starbucks core part, to the analytics engine itself, the query engine itself, that it is going to work well, very well known, as it is well known in the industry. Trino and Starbucks works perfectly fine. It is very fast. It optimizes a lot of queries, as you can see here. It has a built-in query optimizer. It has elastic auto-scaling, smart indexing and caching. You can have some metrics and logging of the platform. And last but not least, the data products that are mentioned there are very important. Why? Because as you can see over there in the top layer, you have a lot of integrations. You have VA integrations, client supports, all of the known platforms like Looker, Power BI, Tableau, some DBT, some Airflow, some Spark coding, JDBC, ODBC. And this data is going to be served to these integrations with data products. We will see them in the demo part. But these data products are no less than data sets that you can manage to put them together in order to serve them to your customers. Okay. This is a very important part, again, because it is a single access point to all the federated data that we have already. Just to check some architecture from the platform, okay, just to understand how it works. As you can see there's a one core coordinator that it is going to check all the metadata and data location. You will not have to discover all the time the data. Once you connect one data source, the coordinator is going to manage itself to get all this metadata and then get the data if you query them. Okay, it is going to work with some HTMS or some metadata checks, okay, to all the data sources. As you can see there, some cloud data warehouse. It works for cloud, it works for on-premises environments, it works for some data lakes, whatever we want, okay. It is going to be also integrated with Ranger. I have not mentioned it before, but Starbucks has RBIC access control, okay. It is also capable of integrates with Apache Ranger to the authentication part in order to sync your users if you are using another LDAP or some free IPA or these kinds of things. And it is going to work with a lot of workers, okay? Well, I said a lot. maybe not a lot, maybe there is just the amount of them that you need. If you have a little platform, you will have very few workers. Starburst, I can get to that, but Starburst works very well with a lot of few workers, and maybe they can be bigger than other environments. This is just a technical issue that you can address in different ways. But Starburst works with workers. These workers are going to be flexible. Okay, they can scale up, they can scale down. If you have a platform that sometimes needs a very concurrent accesses, well, you can put in Kubernetes that they can scale up to double the workers or to triple the workers. It's not usual because it works really fine. And if you configure it the first part, it is okay, but you can do it. And the last thing is, as you can see there, well, the customers, the BI tools, the way to access it is the data is with SQL queries, okay, and you will get the results. These results are going to be provided to us with Starburst, but as I told you before, Starburst has not had a storage. Okay, Starburst always connect to the data source, and it does it with connectors. Okay, there's a lot of open source connectors that came from the Trino version, as you can see there. Some Oracle, some Kafka, MySQL, Postgre, that are very well proved and very well known in the industry. And Starburst, what does is enhance them in security and in performance. Okay, it has a better performance in the enterprise version of Trino here in the Starburst. So they are better. Also, Starburst has again more connectors, but they are only for the enterprise version, as you can see there. Some JDB, some SAP HANA, some Cloudera, some Salesforce, for example, that are going to benefit to us for a lot of things. As you can see there, parallel reading, secure access, performance, more data sources, SQL pushdowns, and all the capabilities that the platform itself, the data source itself are going to provide to us. What do I mean with that? Example, we have Apache Iceberg. Iceberg, as you will know, is a table format. It's very useful because it uses object storage and not a traditional way. It has time travel. It has update queries. It has merge queries, and this kind of data manipulation that it is very useful for a transactional data format. Okay, so what the Starburst does is manage to use these capabilities that they are not from Starburst, but they use them in order to be able to access all this data from the data source. So Iceberg has time travel. In Starburst, you can access Iceberg data and use the time travel that has Iceberg. Okay. As you can see here, Iceberg also has a lot of functionalities that Starburst is going to use, like materialized views, an accelerated packet reader, native data management, and maybe it supports the delete, date insert, and merge options, the time travel. What I've already told you before. Okay, but the best way to see all this is with the demo part. So I will get to here. Okay. This is the first view of the platform. The platform, I just want to say that I have full access. Okay. This is going to be an access that you are going to see if you are an administrator. Of course, I will address the problem with other users with maybe some accesses. To only these some kinds of parts of the platform. And how do I do that? Well, first of all, with the access control part. I'm sure you know that security is very important, okay, in your platform, and Starburst provides to us a way to manage that. Okay, I have a lot of roles, a lot of users, a lot of groups that I can manage in order to give them only the right permissions that I want. Security is very important. Starburst provides to us the auditability also. We will check that also with Data Hub. But as you can see here, Starbucks makes a lot of checks and tick a lot of boxes in order to provide the security of all layers. You can see here, you can manage the privileges for tables, only for roles, only for some kind of query, for some data product. The data product, I will get to that later. Or maybe you can show them only one user interface, okay? But as you can see, there's a lot of security in the platform because it is needed. I'm sure you know. Okay. And I want to check the two most important things. Okay, the first one is these data products. I will get to them later specifically, but this is a marketplace. As I told you before, there will be a single access point for the data. So here it is. Okay, I can manage here to filter by domain. That it will be very important in order to address problems of concurrent accesses, of not regular accesses. If you have a user that accesses this platform once in a while, every 6 months, they will not be able to find this data in a very easy way. So we can provide them with the domains, also with tags. I will explain that later. But I just wanted to show you this first image for a marketplace of all the data products. I will get to them just in a couple of minutes. Okay. I want to show you just in a minute before these kind of things. Okay. As you can see here, Starbucks has a built-in query editor. You can perform all the operations you want here, and you are going to be able to see all the catalogs that you will have access. In this case, a lot of them. As you can see here, we have the platform connected to AWS, to BigQuery, to Databricks, to Iceberg, some Pinot if you use Kafka, maybe Hive, Kudu, or a SQL Server. All the platforms that are well known in the industry are going to be able to connect to Starbucks. Okay. This built-in query editor, what I want to show you here is these exact queries. Okay, as you can see here, it is very easy to execute. I just select the queries that I have already built and run them. As you can see here, they are really fast. And what just did I did? Well, as you can see here, I'm creating a view. I'm creating or replacing a view that it is stored in AWS. And I'm getting data from 3 different platforms. Okay, I'm getting data from AWS, I'm getting data from Iceberg, and I'm getting data from BigQuery. These 3 data sources are queried at the same time, and the data it is going to be stored only in one place. I'm querying only this platform. Okay, I'm querying the 3 platforms, but I'm getting it just in one table. These accesses are concurrent. These accesses are very fast, and I can put together the data from different sources. Also, if you have, for example, some Kafka, you can always query the data here. Okay, I can show you here just the data I just created. There are a couple of lines that get this. As you can see, the select is very fast also. And I just want to check 2 things more here. The first of them, the query details. The query details part is very important because you can see all the issues that you will have. I'm sure you know here is a demo. Here is a small environment. Well, maybe not that small. It is running on Kubernetes with some workers, but there is a proof platform. When you have a new platform, you will have a lot of problems that we also faced, or that I have faced in the past, that I face now in some projects with some data sources. Okay, so you can see here the time that the query has spent queuing, analyzing the data, planning the data, or even executing. As you can see here, if it executes in 1 second, well, it is perfect. But if you have in the executing part maybe 5 seconds, well, the problem is not in the data. Maybe it is in Starbucks because it is low on workers, and you need to scale up the workers. Well, you can address the problems here. Also, you can see the resources that they are taking, the stages of the query, But most important, these two things. The first here, all the data that it is accessing, as I told you before, the three different catalogs, the three different data sources that the query is accessing in this time, the operation that it is performing, and how many rows, how many bytes it is reading. Okay. And the most important thing to audit this queries is the query plan. The query plan, maybe some of you are technical, maybe some of you are not, but it is very, very important because you can see here the exact detail of the query. You can see maybe, well, just over here, there's some inner join query that you can see here how much time it's spending there, how much time it's spending replication of data, how much time it is waiting the data to be stored, waiting the data to be catching. All the time you can see here all the information for the query. This is very important just to data engineers, the people who are building the data sets, and the people who are checking all the time the workflows of the people responsible for the platform. Okay. The second button that I would like to address here for the query editor part is again the data products button. Okay. I just queried this data, and I have the capability to create a data product. What is a data product? As I told you before, a data product is a lot of data sets, 1, 2, 50, whatever you want. Some data sets that you will put them together and serve them to a customer. How do I do that? Well, with this button, I'm creating a new one. For example, you have seen a lot of them in the data product marketplace. Well, maybe we can create here data product 1. Data product 1. And stored in the catalog AWS because it was perfectly fine. And as I can show you here, again, domain. This is a very useful way to classify all the data that you will have in your platform, okay? To manage if some user has to access this, if some consumer users has to access other data, okay? All these problems. We put here some summary, and in the description part, we can also put some images with markdown, some information in order to the customers to be able to use it in a proper way. But that's not the only thing. We'll continue from here. We have here the data sets itself. I can add a lot of them. Okay, I can add another data set and another and another and another. All the data sets that I want. Here is the query. I can add a description for each data set itself. The column description of every data set, of every column, of every table. And I can specify also the type of the access that Starburst is going to have for the data set. As you can see here, there's two ways. There's the view part and the materialized view. What does it mean? When I have if I set this in a view configuration, I will always execute the query to the data sources. So if the problem here is federating data. So if I have 3 different sources with a view, I will be accessing the 3 different data sources all the time. Not all the time. Every time I make the query, okay. But every time I'll make the query, I will be accessing this data. If you put it in a materialized view, you can program there, as I put the catalog in AWS, that this data set is going to be stored in AWS, and the data, it is going to be accessed with Starburst every 60 minutes with an incremental column way. What does it mean? I store the data from the original query in a catalog that I select, and Starburst manages itself in order to grow this table to check every change in every period of time that I set here. Okay. And the last part of here is just the owner. I will put myself, for example. and this important part that are tags. As I told you before, maybe you have a user that accesses this data every day, but other users are going to access these data products, these data sets once in every 6 months. So a very useful way, just not just to give access to some specific data, but also to filter this data in order to understand how this works and what data I want as a user. Is tags. Tags can be implemented manually and can be imported, but we think there are very important because you need to govern later all your data. You need to categorize all your data in order to be useful. Not only I will talk later about data quality, but it's not the only issue when you federate a lot of data, large amounts of data sources. So here we have some links that we can put whatever we want. Also some relevant links, okay, but they are. If I can add here some URLs, whatever we want. Okay, I save it here, and as you can see, well, we have a built-in data product. The next step is just to publish it in the catalog. And as you can see here, there's the information where who created the data product. That's me. When it was last updated, the dataset itself. I can show you here, for example, some other one that has more datasets. As you can see here, we have some description, some summary, and 4 datasets in this case for this data product. And we have here also usage examples. Okay, I can add here some usage examples in order to the users to address the problems of the data and how the data sets are going to be consumed. We have here also a discussion part that we can check. I want access to this. The federated data for this table is wrong. Well, the owner will receive the message and will change it. Okay, this is just some kind of things that we can. I want to take back here. I want to get to the governance because, as I told you before, these problems, the governance part sometimes does not get a lot in the companies. It is a non-productive way to use your data. Okay, governance is very, very important, and we believe it is very important. But for some companies, they just let it be and don't address these issues. Okay, the targets of managing in a very proper way the governance part is the security, the relevance, and the integrity, auditability, transparency, and consistency of all your data. You need to control the access to the data. You need to prove the data is provided to the right people with the right tools, with the right processes. You need to ensure that the quality of the data is not compromised. You need to provide the ability to track the evolution of an asset. In order to function in a proper way. You cannot address these issues, but you will have less better platform, a less better data quality data, and these problems. Okay. I just put here some concepts. I'm sure you will be familiarized with the DEMA wheel. It was very popular a few years ago. Here you have some goals, some principles. It was evolved later on to some other life cycle management of the data with a different approach of data governance. And as you can see there, I put again the whole architecture image in the top in the layer below, because again, governance is going to be all across your platform. The objective of the governance part, it is going to be addressing all the platform itself, from the first part to the serving part. Okay, how do we do that? We face some issues in some companies, maybe because they try to do it from the top. What does it mean? If I'm in a high position in a company, I want to approach all these governance issues all across my environment, all across my company. well, we think that this is an error, this is a mistake, this generates some issues in order to be going to implement it. Why? Because, well, if I have some report to make and I need to send it tomorrow, well, the report is going to be sent tomorrow, and I will not have time to worry myself about governance, about how this data is going to be accessed and this kind of thing. So what we propose is the technology. Okay, it is the approach that we propose. It is going to be based on the technology itself. When we start some data project, when we start some workflow, we are going to use Data Hub, this data governance platform, to address this issue. And then when I have it implemented in my project, in my particular project, in my particular data, I'm going to expand it to other departments, other processes, other people, the people that are going to use my data, but my data is already governed. Okay. Data Hub is the central part, the key point of this platform, and it's going to be integrated with Starbucks and also with Great Expectations. Okay, Data Hub is not the only tool that we can use. We have here some Apache Atlas, some Databricks Unity Catalog. I'm sure you know if you use it, and that Unity Catalog is now mandatory. Not a few years back. Some Colibra tools, some Colibra platforms that are very common also in the industry. But we use Data Hub because it has all of the capabilities that this platform has and a lot of benefits. What are them? Well, the first one, Data Hub is open source. Okay, so it has not a cost in the first place. You can put it on premise or as a service. If it's software as a service, yes, it costs a little bit, but we usually use it on premise. How does it work? Well, you have a metadata service that we will use in the back, MySQL, some Elastic, and some Kafka processes. And they are going to be accessing the metadata itself. I will explain later how. These metadata is going to be served with a front-end server. Okay, the main features. Well, I'm sure you are familiar with that. The automatic metadata ingestion, some lineage, the reliable data discovery, the catalogs, some classification ways for the data, like glossaries, like tags. Well, the usual things. Okay. These capabilities provides to us some purposes. So we do this. We do the governance part because of something, not just because I want to do it. Okay, the purposes of that are these three. We think that they are the most important ones. The first one is the data discovery. That, well, Data Hub allows us to explore and search, continuously updating catalogs, continuously updating data sets, dashboard charts, even machine learning models, even Gen AI models, all this data that we are using. Also, the data observability. You can have a 360-degree view of all your data entities, of all your data sources. And the last thing is the federated governance. As we are using Starburst, we are using a federated way to access this data with a single access point. This enables us to manage all the metadata changes in real life with Data Hub, because Data Hub is accessing not only Starburst, but also the data sources, and notifying, well, the key stakeholders, propagating metadata, and interrupting critical business pipelines. We can check all these kind of things with the federated way to approach this governance issue. Okay, just to check how this Data Hub works, well, you have there the front end, you have some API integrations, some stream integrations, the Data Hub serving part that works with Elastic and this kind of that. And you have there the push-pull methods in order to get this metadata. As you can see there, there's a lot of platforms, and Data Hub is going to be able to ingest all the metadata on his server, accessing the data in the metadata, in the original platform. There's a simple way to see this. We can check the platform itself. Here it is, the first view, the first image that you are going to get when you access the data hub. As you can see here, that it has some ingestion part that you can check, well, how the platform is implemented with. In this case, well, you have here Databricks, some BigQuery platforms, some Trino, Hive, some SQL Server. Well, again, the most used platforms of the industry. Okay, and the Starbucks address this with this interface. So we have here some the domains, the ones that we can put some entities, some whatever we want. Okay, this is also again the way to manage how to organize your data in your platform, the same way that you do it in the Starburst in order to be accessed to the data to be accessed. Okay, and glossary terms that the platform will have as every governance platform has. Okay. In order to access the data, as you can see here, there's a lot of platforms, but you can have, well, some tags, some glossary terms, and the most popular table. In this case, for example, this table is going to provide to us a lot of information. The most popular tables are the ones that are most used, and you can search them freely here. Okay. There's going to be all the data sets. There's going to be a possibility to access all the data sets. This one, for example, is the one that I used before in order to build the table. If you remember, I have here, well, some information with the customer key, some description parts, some tags that I can apply to all the columns, to just one column, to the table itself. I know here if the table is composed of one table, of two tables. We can add here the tags to the table. We can add the glossary terms that we are going to use for this table particularly, and we can have here also the owner. The owner is going to provide to us some documentation for the table. These are the capabilities, again, to manage the governance part. You can have here some images, some links, some information about the table that it is going to be useful. The lineage part, it is very important. As you can see here, the table is only here, but if you have if the information comes from Snowflake, maybe it will appear here with all the columns. If a column is added, it will appear here. Okay. And also the properties part. Okay, this is just some show metadata information. Well, as it is known here, if you use some SQL queries, well, this is information that you have that you can see in this user interface. And also we have here some highlighted queries. Okay, the most used queries, some queries that are important in order to understand the data, a lot of things. This last part, for example, I have statistics here about the table. I think this is very important because it will address the data quality part, and I'm going to talk about it just right now. That has, well, for example, I can see here maximum values for a field, medium values for a field, the distinct count that it does, the platform, some fields. This is very important in order to run validations. Okay, the validations part, I have here some other table that has, for example, validation run. This is Great Expectations. Okay, this is how Great Expectations integrates with Data Hub. You can run a validation for all the data that you can see in the statistics also as well, and these validations can be shown here. I will get to that just in a minute. And also you have the capability to raise incident. If there's a problem with this table, for example, well, I can raise an incident and I can resolve it also. Okay. For the data quality part, I want to start to check the challenges. There's going to be three. The first one is how the data scales up and speeds. The growth of these platforms are incredibly vast. There's a big amount of data. There's data coming every second, and this rapid influx of data makes the manual cleaning very, very challenging, very sometimes even impossible. Okay. The variety of the data, there's a lot of formats. I'm sure you have a lot of platforms, some JSON, some Avro, some SQL storing data. There's a lot of formats that you will have to address them in a separate way. Okay, with Data Federation, we can address them together, and we try to integrate all this data in a single access point. There's also a challenge of detection difficulty. When you have a lot of data, there's going to be an extra difficulty to detect some errors, some duplicates, some issues in incredibly big data sets. The metadata that we use for data quality is these five fields: the description, the tags, the schema, the owners, and the custom fields. To define the custom fields, to define these quality metrics, we use these fields, and we are addressing the consistency, the integrity, the accuracy, and the timeliness of the data. Okay, we are doing that with Great Expectations. Great Expectations, what provides to us is just an open source library. Okay, it is a Python library that has a lot of validations. It has, I think, it is over here over 320. But this is just the defined ones, okay? The community is creating them, as long as they are using them, they are creating them, so you can access to them. And if you don't have a validation for your issue particularly, you can create a new one. You can edit one that it is already existing and put it there. Okay, these validations, as I told you before, are going to be across all the platform, are going to be in the first part, in the initial part of the workflow, maybe in your bronze layer, and they are going to be also in the gold layer, okay, in order to check if the data is really clean. The first part, the goal must be to check, if there are some duplicates, if there are some errors, maybe then you can filter them. This is also how you treat the data and how this data is well expanded and with a quality in your platform. Just because if later on you use some data that has duplicates, that has some mistakes, your conclusions, your VI reports or whatever you use, they are not going to be correct. So yeah, you have a very well known and very good big data platform, but you are not using it correctly. How does data Great Expectations address this data quality issue? Well, this is an example of an expectation, of a validation, that, as you can see here, it established a minimum value and a maximum value. These values are going to be checked for a field that you specify. And as you can see here, there's an exception of one observed value that can raise this incident. Okay, this validation, it is going to be run. It is going to be shown, for example, in the data hub part, and you are going to be able to see it in the data hub platform. I'm going to finish just over here. I think I have explained a lot of things. I hope that you get some information for this, some useful information, and I really hope that you will have the will to implement a federated way to access all your data and to implement the governance tools and the data quality tools in order to check properly on your data. I'm finishing here. I just want to pass again the talking point to Abraham, so he will be conducting the last few minutes in order to check all the things. Well, thanks a lot.
Well, thanks, Javier. It's been great having you here today. Excellent presentation, and I think that we have learned a lot of things today. But I would like to highlight some relevant points from this presentation, just as a takeaway, as a wrap up from this session, speaking about the data governance and data quality tools. Well, what can we get? We have learned that addressing a data governance and a data quality project and achieving results is possible with the right approach. We can have this iterative methodology and using the right technological architecture. Well, data federation also allows serving information. This data product, as Javier has been explaining before, to the consumers in a governed way, in a governed manner. And this will bring more effectiveness to our business and will save time and cost. Another thing, another business value that brings to the companies is that opens a new way to have this data monetization as a safe business, because sometimes the companies can feel that exposing their data and to external users could be risky. But with this governed data platform, it is a safe business and it will bring business value to the companies as well. And how can we do it? With different products, as has been explained and shown, like the products, enterprise products like Starburst, open source tools, having data hub and great expectations as one of our recommendations for this. And some of these tools will cover all the aspects for the data federation, data quality, and the data governance, which are very important for that. Okay, so how can we help you from PUE? By designing and deploying with you this reliable integrated data governance and the architecture, as we saw at the very beginning in one of our pillars, is this data roadmap. In one of the steps, we can get to that point and build that data product that will serve to your purpose. Building this government data marketplace will also facilitate the access to information for external, internal users without risk, with compliance, and always bringing that business value to the company. And for that, we have a number of different services that we can address specifically to what the company, to your company, like this designing phase with the consultancy part, the building by delivering the platforms and the deployment, the running by the data ops, building use cases and doing the platform administration, optimizing and improving the performance of the platforms, and also the enablement, which is very important to have the people well trained to use the right tools in the right way. And that's what we would like you to do, to share in your social media, to follow our LinkedIn and to give us a like on this post, and don't hesitate to share it with your contacts. So thank you very much. Any questions, any doubts, you have this email address. You can contact with us at any moment. The session will be open for a few more minutes, just to let you take some notes from the questions and answers. And if there's anything else, we will be very much pleased to answer to you. Thank you very much again. Hoping to see you here next week, and have a very good week ahead of you and a successful business. Bye. Thank you.